I am an educator and a conflict specialist that has gotten sucked into my husband's law practice as an employee to create a document automation service for completing Hague Service Request forms for him, for his own
Awesome.
use and to sell to other legal professionals.
Wonderful. Can you tell us just briefly about what is the Hague Service Request form and what's the end-to-end process for your customers?
The Hague Service Request form is a specific form that was created by the U.S. Marshal Service to have a common form that any attorney in the United States would fill out to send to other Hague Service Convention signatories in other countries to request that a defendant in that country, whether it's an entity or an individual, be served. So it streamlines the process so that there's consistency and that the central authorities know what they're receiving. And since that was done, then the Hague Conference on Civil and International Law accepted that form and has expanded it into other languages based on where it's going, whether it's in Italian or French, Spanish, Portuguese, Chinese, any of those things. So what we have done is we've created something that allows a legal professional to just input information. They have a checklist at the start to prepare all their documents. They go through and answer a series of questions, and based on the answers to those questions, document behind the scenes, routes them to the specific space that they need, whether it's instruction or another question, or a stop that says you have to have a specific thing translated before you can continue, and it offers them a save and continue later option. And once they have filled out all of those survey questions, they click that they're done, and it allows them to review all of their answers that they input based on the questions. And when they approve that, then it generates a PDF that they can download right then and there. It also emails it to them. And what that PDF includes is more than just the USM 94 form completed accurately. It provides them with a sample cover letter that will need to go to the central authority, and it provides them a detailed instruction sheet that tells them how long we estimate that it will take for them to get a response back, whether or not they have to pay a fee, who's the contact at the central authority if it's provided, so that they have a support that they can just do step by step by step. So it takes out all the guesswork and all the possibility for making a mistake as much as we can.
That's awesome. That sounds like an incredibly robust platform. How many countries are you guys serving now?
Oh, well, for sources, we serve legal professionals in the United States and Canada, but our forms go worldwide. If it's a Hague Service Convention signatory, then it's programmed into our document automator and can be utilized that way.
That's great. And I know you've had a lot of experimentation that you've done with pricing and figuring out what the right price is for your platform. What are some of the factors that you were looking at when you were launching your platform, and some of the things that you've changed over time to get to the right place?
So creating something that doesn't exist, we had no comparison to look at. So we based it on how much intellectual property was being included from Aaron's knowledge base. We talked to peers to see what they would be willing to pay for a service like this and let them play with it a little bit so that they could see the value and the ease and use. We looked at basically a gut feel of what we think people could tolerate based on how we were expecting the service to be utilized. Then we played with that and let it sit for a few months. We promoted the platform through my husband's blogs, hagelawblog.com, and just through organic use, we then looked at the data to see where people were stopping, and many of them, it was the paywall. And I had some theories on what was stopping people, because there was no About Us page on on our website. So they didn't know that it was created by a legal professional for a legal professional. Well, it was created for a legal professional by a professional. So there's a lot of detail work in there that was important, that I thought it was important for people to understand so that they could trust the system because it's brand new. So that led us to massaging our pricing, and again, stopping and looking at the data to find out where people were stopping, who was using it, why they were using it, and trying to feel our way through that process.
That's awesome. And I know you've built quite a bit of notoriety and credibility in the field, being the only platform. Yeah, it's just, you guys are the only ones who are doing this, and you have so much great content out there that people are finding you, and they're lucky to have you and be able to borrow from your expertise in their own practices. So I'm sure you have a lot of happy customers. What's just to close off?
What many complaints yet? So I think we have 2, and it's just because they didn't read. So
that's wonderful. Yeah, lots of happy people. What's one thing from the experience that you've had that you would give as advice to others who are embarking on this journey?
I would say the best way you can help yourself is to simply try to develop your workflow on paper before you ever try and get in and add the attention of the technology to that. If you've got your workflow mapped out, then it pretty well falls together on its own. And any technology challenges that you experience, you can fairly easily see if it's a problem within your workflow, or if you need to contact Document for help, which you guys are great about helping.
Definitely.
So don't lose patience, ask for help, and you will create something fabulous.